The show is called I Deserve This. Is that right?
Mhm. Yeah.
What's that about then?
Partially it's to do with the fact that I'm quite entitled on stage. So part of my persona is that I'm a bit of a knob. Like because I've come from quite a nice background, does that mean I sort of make potentially deserve all the other like stuff, bad stuff that's happened to me? But it's a show about in entitlement, whether that kind of balances out ultimately. You know, if you've had quite a nice upbringing, does that mean you deserve sort of bad stuff happening to you at the same time?
What in your opinion constitutes a nice upbringing?
I mean, ultimately, I guess in the sort of privileged stakes, I went to like a private school and I grew up in London, and I'm white as well and a man and
Hang
straight.
on, this is all exclusive stuff we're getting
Yeah,
here.
I know. I know, but the show is sort of it's structured around like it's a guide, it's a 10-step guide to being how to be cool, claim back some kind of like social clout as a person who is too privileged, basically. It's kind of like an ironic TED talk.
And you went up to Edinburgh this year. How was that for you?
Yeah, that was great. That was great. We got really nice reviews. Was in the list of top reviewed shows of the Fringe, and just had a great time really, and managed to work on the show a lot, and people really seem to enjoy the show. It's an intense month. It's probably a bit too long, uh, but it makes you much better as a comedian, and I've come back now, kind of I feel a lot sharper and excited about and feeling ready to do a tour now. It was like a really long kind of tour warm up, really.
And you narrowly missed out on being the act most likely to win £1 million at the Malcolm
Oh yeah.
Hardie Awards. Is that because you already have £1 million?
I think they think, yeah, they must either they think I'm close already, or they kind of I mean, I'd like to imagine it's a reflection of of the quality of an act rather than they already assume my bank account is close enough that. But it's
Yeah.
most likely to make £1 million, not most likely to have £1 million. So I'll give them the
Oh,
benefit of the doubt.
oh yes.
Yeah,
No, you're absolutely right. It is.
yeah.
I
But yeah, that's
apologize.
true. I did. That was a nice thing to be nominated for. I wasn't expecting that.
It always strikes me as funny that the prize isn't £1 million.
Yeah, that's very funny. That would have made the nomination and then not winning. That would have really given it a bit more sting, actually.
I believe you have recently been to New Orleans.
Yeah, I did. I just got back from New Orleans. Yeah, I went with two comedians. That was supposed to be a relaxing break after Edinburgh, but it turned out it's quite an intense place.
Did you do any shows while you were there?
We did do two shows. Yeah, we did one show that was a half burlesque, half comedy show. So they brought us straight on after loads of burlesque acts, and then we
Hmm.
did a show that was like a black show called Piss Your Pants Sundays, and both of them were mental. I mean the burlesque show was like it's just good to see that promoters don't give a shit all over the world. You know, like that. They they must have done that night however many times and know that it doesn't work. Like the MC literally, after three or four dances have been on, just said, "Okay, now it's time to maneuver into the comedy portion of the show. Welcome to the stage." Just brought straight on, just no kind of like tonal reset. It was just brought us straight on after the well, and in between the burlesque act. So it wasn't even like there was a solid block of comedians either at the end or at the start. It was just burlesque comedian, and then the black show. I'd been robbed the day before on a night out. Not like not robbed as in like for the Malcolm Hardie Award, like getting robbed. Like my phone and my debit card got taken, and then right before they brought me up on stage at that gig, they went, "We got Brits in the house tonight, so you all know who to rob." And they brought me on stage, and I had and basically just spent the set telling them I don't have any. There's not, they've taken everything, and then they all just started shouting out things that I still have that they could still that they could still take. Some guy was like, "I can still take your shoes," so it was like it turned into like an auction. So both gigs were wild, but I was with two friends. I went with two other comedians, and we all got to sort of laugh at the ridiculousness of it together. So
Finley, you've been to Birmingham lots of times, haven't you? Before you were doing lots of sort of new material nights in the run up to this, weren't you, around here?
I've done. I mean, I did. I've done a few of Eric's new material nights, and I've done. I opened for Vittorio last week in Birmingham.
But you
Uh,
didn't you do like the Somar bar and things like that?
I think yeah, I did the Summer Tap. Yeah. I did like my first preview for this show. I did there. Yeah, like last year.
So it's almost like Birmingham is the birthplace of this show, and you're
Yeah, it was the first
returning
preview I did. Yeah.
salmon-like to the place of origin.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
How'd you find Birmingham audiences?
I really like Birmingham audiences. I mean, there's always a good mix of people in. Birmingham's a diverse city in the same way that London is, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about is like, I have stuff that plays in the kind of the areas between race and class and stuff like that. So it's good. The more people in to kind of understand all those different references, the better.
Yeah, I meant more sort of literally. How do you find Birmingham audiences? Because
Oh, how do you
yeah,
literally find
how
them?
do we get them to come to the shows?
Probably online. I think you probably have to seek them out in their homes in Edgbaston or wherever.
Thank you so much, Finley. When is the show, and how can people get tickets and things?
It's on October 15th at the Birmingham Glee, and you get tickets. You get tickets on the website for the Birmingham Glee.